Hi, beautiful community. Welcome back to another episode of Create Your Joy. My name is Ivania Liang, and I am a mindset coach, and I have Shruti. You want to introduce Shruti yourself?
Yeah, of course. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Shruti Goel, and I am a self-love and empowerment coach through the Jay Shetty Certification School. And we're pleased to bring you episode 5.
Yes, we're so excited, and we can't wait to share this new song that Shruti has picked this time, and is Feel the Light by Jennifer Lopez. And tell us about a little bit of why did you pick this song, Shruti?
Yeah, oh my goodness. So this song has such personal meaning for me because during a difficult time during the pandemic, this is the song comes from the movie Home, which is this animated movie that very few people know about, but it has amazing music that has inspired me. And this particular song I would listen to when my dad was in the hospital, and it just had a way of uplifting my spirits, both the musicality of it, but then also when I paid attention to the words, I just felt as though it had so much more to offer in its lyrics than maybe is there at first glance. So I was really excited to be able to offer it to our community here to dive into the lyrics a little bit more. And I can also share where the musicality, where the actual words and the music has such a positive impact, on us. And I was going to say that, as you're following along with us, feel free to play the music as you're listening to this podcast, and or locate the lyrics on a search engine of your choice so you can follow along with the words. But it feels so joyful to share that with our community today. So if it's okay with you, I would love to dive in to the first verse because this is one of my all-time favorites.
Yes.
So it begins as here I go, feel better now, feel better now. Here I go. It's better now, feel better now. And it just, when it says these lines, I feel this sense of buoyancy in my own spirit, as if you're being uplifted, kind of like a balloon. You're just this joyful being that is being lifted up off the ground. And the idea is that as you're feeling this, you're feeling better about your now, your present moment. And I love that this line repeats, and later you'll see that this line comes back again and again in this song. Um, and the idea for me almost feels like it is a way to motivate yourself, kind of like that self-suggestion to say, here I go, and I think it's a great way to feel like you're not stuck anymore. One of the challenges that many of us experience is that when we feel stuck, we feel like it's going to last forever. And when you can say, here I go, even in the moment where you're stuck, you're no longer stuck. You're starting to move forward. And one of the secrets that I have discovered is that, it's not really that you need to go at a fast pace. You could be very nice and slow and deliberate in your movement, and that's okay. And often we're not told that. It's okay if we're just walking one foot in front of the other initially. You have to learn how to walk before you can run. Um, so the next verse goes, do you remember when we fell under? Did you expect me to reason with thunder? And at first glance, this part of the song sounds like a typical love song where the woman is singing about, falling in love for the first time, and how it felt like it was a force of nature. Like, did you expect me to, reason with thunder? It's like a force of nature. You can't argue with it. You just have to surrender and experience it.
My goodness.
And yeah, that's beautiful. I can appreciate that. And I still remember when time was frozen. What seemed forever was just a moment. And again, I think this continues to explore that idea of falling in love, being in love, and this sense that time is frozen in this beautiful moment, between these two people. And what seemed forever was just a moment. Yeah, when you're having a beautiful experience in your outer world, it can feel like it has just frozen in place and is just going to be here forever, even though it might just be a few minutes, you know. And hurry up, there's no more waiting, we're still worth saving. So when I first read these lines, it's a little bit jarring because, here she's talking about just a couple of lines before this perfection, this beauty in falling in love. And suddenly it shifts in emotion to hurry up, there's no more waiting, we're still worth saving. And it gave me a different viewpoint on the previous lines. Because the other perspective, if you're not looking at it like a love song, is that I still remember when time was frozen, like it could be a disastrous time, that something bad was happening. And it felt like just like your breath stops, that the time had stopped. And that what seemed forever was just a moment. When you're in the fight or flight mode, it feels like something that's happening, that danger is going to last forever, even though it is usually, like that. And let's say if someone is in a car accident, if someone is in an event that's happening very quickly, it can feel like that. And in that context, when she then says, hurry up, there's no more waiting, it's almost like snapping someone out of that freeze mode to say, like, hey, wake up. We're still worth saving. Because when someone is in that freeze mode, they can just feel like they're giving up. They can't do anything to change it. And yet, this song is reminding us we're still worth saving.
Yes.
And yeah, I just feel like there's so much redemption in that, so much room to redeem ourselves, to improve ourselves. And somewhere it also echoes for me at the level of our current reality, at the level of where we are on Earth right now, that we're seeing all these storms, we're seeing all these disasters. And I remind myself when I hear this song, we're still worth saving. That's the beauty of grace, that it doesn't have to be deserved. It's given to you anyway.
Yes. Wow, beautiful. I love the way you described the whole thing. And one of the things, if we can summarize everything that you have said, it would be two things that I got picked up is like surrendering.
Yeah.
Because you're doing your part. You're gonna go and move on. Like go ahead and do what you can. And the other thing is we're still worth saving for. And it's not just you, like the whole entire human beings. And I really love, the lyrics. I never actually heard the song before until you introduced it to me. And I actually read the lyrics first before I listened to the song, and it was so beautiful. And
Yeah.
one of the things that um,
Yeah.
I really liked when I say like here I go, I like to bring it to myself in a way because I want to start with me before I
Yeah.
start with the outside.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like when you're ready, like when you feel ready that you can move on, like when you're tired of being stuck, when you're tired of being in a situation, or even when you're tired of not listening to your higher self, like you just, okay, no, I'm ready. And you're ready to listen, and you're surrendering, right? You surrender to what you can do, so you're able to see it. And I really, really love that. And and what it says, do you remember when we fell under? Do you expect me to reason with thunder? I really like how you put that together with Mother Nature, because
Yeah.
at the same time is that our higher self is giving us the wisdom of what we need to do or how we need to move forward. But we're going against it. Like we don't want to do it because it's work, because it's painful, because you don't want to hurt other people, because you don't want to be judged. But when you're ready, It's like you have to listen. And I really love how you make that analogy. It was really, really beautiful. And it's also that sometimes at times the time might feel that it's frozen.
Yeah.
But that it can seem like it's forever. But if we look back in our experiences when we were having such a hard time before we want to move forward, whatever decision we had to make, it felt like it was forever.
Yeah.
And then we look back and say, okay, no, we just didn't want to, but then we moved. So it's not forever. And actually nothing is forever. So everything should pass. So I really like that. And I really liked how it goes back into hurry up, hurry up. There's no more waiting. We're still saving. We are still worth saving. I really like that because for me, when you're having this healthy internal conversation with yourself, is saying, I'm worthy.
Yeah.
Hurry up. It's worth it. If we do this, we're going to be so much better. I deserve this. So I really, really love that. And thank you for this song because it's really, really beautiful, Judy. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And we go back into read the verse where it says, feel the light shining in the dark of night. Remember what we forgot. I know it's a long shot, but we're bringing it all back. We are bringing it all back. When I'm listening to this, I think it's actually the lower self and the higher self are having this healthy conversation where they're met, where the lower self is at and where the higher self is at. So they're having this nice, beautiful balance or dance, if you like. And it says, where there's dark, I am shining. You able to see the path, even though it's dark. And it says, remember what we forgot. And those are the things is trying, the higher self is trying to tell the lower self that remember all those times you've been before. It's been hard and tough. But at the end of the day, you're able to see the light that you have to walk towards to. And I really, really like that because it's like, it's surrendering. That is surrendering.
Yeah.
Able to see and hear what is there to say. And so we're all bringing it all back. We're bringing it all back. And I think when it says these two things is bringing it all back, meaning that I am, and I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
Not because I forgot it. I'm not bringing that part. I'm bringing it with it to the front.
Yeah.
And then it repeats itself in the next verse. And it's like I said, it's like having this healthy conversation and then to make it real, to make it like, no, we can bring it all back. It's not all dark. There's light. And I really, really love that. And it goes back, to again, here I go. So you want to continue shooting with this, or what do you think?
Yeah, so I actually wanna hold off because I think the next two lines are really good, and I want you to share your perspective on those. That I still remember when things were broken.
That's right.
Because I think that is really a significant part of this song. So what do you think about those? And then we'll come back to my thoughts.
Yeah, when I still remember when things were broken, but put together, the cracks will close in. Wow. I think it goes back to every time when we felt that we fail,
Yeah.
that we thought that we didn't achieve something that we wanted to achieve a certain time. And I think that we feel like that we're broken, that we're not worthy, that we are judging so harsh on ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that putting all those things together and listening that we're ready to move forward, that's where the cracks start to close. Because we're not forgetting our failure, the way that we fell. We're not forgetting what we have suffered, but we're bringing it together and make it into a new experience because we're worth it.
Yeah.
to create a new lifestyle, to create new experiences. And it's okay to fail. That's how we achieve. That's how we arrive.
Wow, powerful. That was really beautiful. And yeah, I was gonna say, as you were talking about these two lines, I still remember when things were broken. Um, you know, yes, many of us have been conditioned to fear failure. And the challenge is that when we begin to fear failure, we also somewhere in our heart develop a fear of success,
Yes.
because the success might see a failure first before you're able to reach success. And so for me, that was a really valuable reminder that, it's okay to remember when things were broken. And in fact, when you put yourself back together, when I see this word, the cracks will close in, I actually think of the Japanese art called kintsugi, which is this lovely practice of mindfulness, among other things, where you take broken pottery and you put gold lacquer in the cracks, and it becomes more valuable than the crockery was originally. And that's how I like to think of us, is by the end of our life,
Yes.
by the time we reach the end of this journey, we're going to have so many cracks, in our physical, emotional, spiritual body, but those cracks will be filled in with light. They'll be filled in with the gold of our experience. And so in that sense, it's a very redeeming.
Yeah, Chuti, I think your audio just went up a little bit. Yeah, let's just kind of give a chance. Oh, there we go. Maybe you can speak. No, the sound is still not there.
Experience.
Oh, there we go. There
Yeah.
we go.
Yep, it'll be fine in the recording, Ivania. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So and again, this is our raw podcasting experience. This is how these things operate. But coming back to our lines, the hurry up, there's no more waiting. I think it's important that we're coming back to this chorus again, because that line, we're still worth saving, that is something that I'm taking with me, as and during that time when my dad was in the hospital, I kept thinking, like, yes, we're still worth saving, no matter how difficult a condition that he was going through, he was going to be okay. And I think we as human beings need that reminder just on a daily basis to keep us going, because so many of us feel so broken down by the challenges that we face. And yet, in the roots of those challenges are the hidden depths of our joy. And I have often found that in going through a challenge together, like in this case, when my dad was ill, our family became stronger because of how we saw each other show up for one another. And so, yes, we do have these moments where it feels like the hard times will never go. And yet, if we can remind ourselves we're still worth saving, we'll come back out and see the other side of it. And the feel the light shining in the dark of night, to me, this particular set of lines, I love that it repeats so many times in the song, because it is just magnificent. For me, every time I hear these two lines, it lightens my heart to hear them. So, and saying that we can shine like stars tonight. We forget that we're made of the same stuff as stardust in the universe. We're not separate from the universe. And actually, something that I've started doing recently is when I feel like my human problems are feeling too oppressive in my own mind, I try to zoom out my perspective. And I say, well, if I was sitting on the moon looking down at the earth, how big would this problem be? Like with my internet connection, for example. Or, if I have lost my glasses, or if I've put my keys somewhere and I can't find them right now. if I zoom out and we're sitting on the moon, would it matter that I had lost those things? Would it matter that I was having a problem with my internet? So that is a great way to give yourself a bigger perspective as well. And that's what this line reminds me of. And the next three lines, especially this one, remember what we forgot. And this line always makes me think of the story from Hinduism about Lord Hanuman, who is this powerful being. And he has forgotten, though, of his own magnificence. And there, sitting at the side of this ocean, of the Indian Ocean, his friends sing to him about the strengths that he has. And then he realizes those things himself, and he's able to cross this vast ocean to reach the other side. And so I just want to say that there is a lot of mystery, a lot of symbolism in both the musical traditions of our world, but also the stories that we hear as a kid, and so we can use them to our advantage in a moment of adversity in our own life. So I just want to remind us to think like we're Lord Hanuman as well. And so, yes, it's good to have those kind of people around us who love us so much that they can give us this perspective and show us our own magnificence when we're not able to see it. And I'll tell you one thing, which really opened my eyes, was to realize that a butterfly doesn't know how beautiful its wings are. It's only the ones that view it that know how beautiful its wings are. And we are a little bit like that too, as human beings. So anyway, so the chorus, I think, is just phenomenal. And I just want to hand it back to you here, Ivania, because yeah, this song is magnificent for me. I could go on for hours talking about it.
Oh, I know, just beautiful that you gave us the story of Hamana. I can't pronounce his name. What's his name?
Yeah, so it is Lord Hanuman.
Hanuman, Lord Hanuman. I really love
Hanuman.
it. And I resonate that because, we forget how strong we are.
Yeah.
And then all the strength that we have within us, sometimes it takes situation like this to remind us that we're very, very strong. Yeah. And we have all the strength that we need.
Exactly.
I really love that. So in the next verse it says, you and I can have it all tonight. So let's bring it back to life. Now we have another chance to fly, another chance to make it right.
Yeah.
Wow. If I can just pause there, it's like, when I see this, Ruthie, it's like, we said, you and I can have it all tonight. And I would always like to bring it back to the self, because I think everything's with the self before we deal with the external world. This is you and I'm talking about how the lower self and the higher self are kind of holding each other's hand here in this moment.
Yeah.
And in this moment, and said, let's bring it back to life. And
wow.
That's so beautiful to see or to understand. Of course, we don't fully understand completely, but what I understand is like I can be best friends with my higher self and my lower self. And if we work like this every time, we'll be okay. We'll be more than okay. And not only that, we'll expand it to other people because we know that they have it as well. And it says we have another chance to fly, another chance to make it right. And that's the thing. We always try to make things right because we have to fail in order to make it right. Yeah. We don't have it right at the first time. Like, I love our podcast because it's so raw. We're not, we're just taking step by step. Yeah. And we're not here to pretend to be perfect. Yeah. It's actually coming into peace with what we're doing in this space. that we love. I love to do it. You love to do it for the other people. And we are learning together new perspective, new ways, new stories. And I really, really love that this song brings us together. This lyric brings us together. And then we expand from there. So that's very beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing that I just wanted to add here is when you said, so let's bring it back to light, um, in that second line of this verse, you and I can have it all tonight. Let's bring it all back to light. That idea of bringing it back to light. So many of us are just sometimes surviving in our lives. But to me, when it says we're bringing it to light, there's this sense that you're thriving again. You know, it's the sense that I try to imagine what a sunflower would feel when it's facing the sun and it's receiving the full magnificence of the light of the sun and just drinking it and feeling nourished. And I think that's how we feel when we are able to give some of that love to ourselves, you know. And it's not as if you and I can have it all tonight. I see that to mean, you know, I'm included as a recipient of my own love. You know, it's so easy to just give that love outwardly, but never turn that compassion onto ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think this line reminds me that you must include yourself. When you're talking about compassion, you have to offer compassion to yourself and also to others. And in fact, the more compassion you offer yourself, the more full you are and the more likely it is to spill over onto the people around you. And that is the best way to make it flow through you and within you. Because if you're giving it as an obligation while not filling your own cup first, there's bound to be resentment, because that's not a natural flow for love. So these lines are really impactful. And to have this another chance to fly, you know, before someone can fly, you know, they might have had many times when they fell down instead, you know, and yet to be able to take one more chance that you're going to fly. I think that's what life is all about, really. You know, it makes it worth it to give it that one more try and to hold hope that the next time you can fly, even if the last few times you haven't. So I find that very redeeming. I find that very beautiful. And again, this is a beautiful, beautiful song, just even in its musicality throughout this song. The music is so uplifting that you just find yourself, you know, feeling full of hope, feeling full of positivity and light.
And you know what, one thing that I noticed too when you were reading the lines where it says another chance to make it right, it's not definitive. It's not like this is the last chance.
Exactly.
And it opens up to many chances.
Yeah.
Because we're not getting it right away.
Exactly.
I really love that. Another chance to make it right.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course the song goes into the chorus again. And I love that the chorus is not sung once, but twice. The feel the light shining in the dark of the night. Remember what we forgot. I know it's a long shot. And I just want to say one thing about the line, I know it's a long shot, is bringing it back to our podcast. Back when Ivania and I first started talking about this podcast, before we had ever recorded an episode, now in this moment, 5 episodes later, it feels an eon ago. It feels like a different lifetime. But it was just a few months back. It was at the beginning of springtime. And here we are realizing that dream. So I just want to encourage our viewers to take the long shot, to believe in yourself. And it's one of the reasons why Ivania and I are doing this as well, to be able to show you that two ordinary people who haven't done public speaking, or there are many reasons that we could have said that we shouldn't do this podcast, but there was only one reason to do it, and that's because it was something that helped us feel joyful, and we wanted to create our joy, and then we wanted to share it with you.
Yes. Yeah, no, thank you, beautiful Shruti. Yes, I really agree. And also extended to this beautiful podcast that we created it. That's also why we became coaches, life coaches, because we want to help other people. We want them to reach their goal.
Yes.
We want them to have faith in themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why we work with them as well.
Exactly. Well said, Ivania. And in the very last lines, here we go, feel better now, feel better now. They fill me with hope that first of all, it started off by saying, here I go. But at the end of the song, she ends it with, here we go. And the idea is that there is some sense of being together, belonging. And I know in Ivania's line of work, this would mean that the higher self and the lower self are working together. And in the self-love arena, in my area of work, it means that you are integrating the different parts of yourself. And when you integrate rather than try to remove them or try to deny them, then your power increases. Your ability to meet life and its challenges becomes greater than it ever was. And the song ends with, it's better now. It's better now. Feel better now. And I mean, what a culmination. It sounds like a ballad of a hero,
Yes.
Being able to move from a state of mind where they were experiencing a challenge, felt frozen in a moment, all the way down to saying that I'm integrated within myself and I can move forward in life.
Wow, yeah, no, it's just beautiful. And then I really like how you pointed out where it says, here we go.
Yeah.
Because you're not leaving any piece behind.
Yeah.
You're not leaving any part from yourself that you don't like. You became one. And we're doing it together. And I think when we had that mindset, or when we had that faith in ourselves, it goes easier. Not faster, but easier, because you believing in yourself, you believing in that you're worthy, that you have everything within. As you and I believe that we're whole, complete, and resourceful.
Exactly.
And I really love that. And it says it's better now. As it reminds me like when we started that podcast, and it felt like, oh, we're doing this, and it feels better now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure down the line it will be much way better.
Even better, absolutely.
Even better, but it's the process that we actually embracing. And like one of the things that you said that it stuck to my head is surrendering.
Yeah.
So you can move forward. And I really
beautiful. Well, that's the Feel the Light song, and I hope you'll give it a listen, all of our viewers. And of course, if you're joining us for the first time, please, if you have liked this podcast, be sure to hit like or subscribe. And we can't wait to come back with another episode sometime soon.
Yeah, thank you so much everyone for the ones already watching our podcast. Thank you so much. We are so grateful for every single one of you. And we can't wait to create more. And just create your day. Like I always say, create your day, your month, your year, create the lifestyle that you want to live. And see you next time.
You bet.